What if some of the best exercises for building strength were discovered nearly 2,000 years ago? Today, fitness is often associated with machines, specialized equipment, and increasingly complex workout plans. Yet the Roman Empire built soldiers capable of carrying heavy loads across vast distances, fighting brutal battles, and performing physically demanding tasks day after day without access to any modern gym. The Romans understood something that many people have forgotten. Real strength wasn't measured by how much muscle you could display. It was measured by what your body could do under pressure. Their training focused on movements that built endurance, resilience, and practical capability rather than appearance alone. And at the center of that approach was a surprisingly simple movement. It required no machines, no technology, and very little instruction. Yet, it helped create some of the most physically capable warriors of the ancient world, and modern science suggests it may still be one of the most effective ways to build real-world strength today. Here's the strange reality of modern fitness. A person can look incredibly fit and still struggle with tasks that previous generations considered ordinary. Carrying heavy bags up several flights of stairs, lifting an awkward piece of furniture, hiking for hours, or working physically for an entire day often reveals a gap that gym mirrors cannot. Somewhere along the way, looking strong became more important than being strong. Part of the reason lies in how many people train. Modern machines are excellent at isolating individual muscles, but real life rarely works one muscle at a time. Outside the gym, the body must coordinate dozens of muscles simultaneously while maintaining balance, posture, and control. The more training becomes dependent on machines, the less it resembles the physical challenges humans were built to handle. The Romans approached strength from a completely different perspective. They didn't train muscles, they trained movements. Every exercise had a purpose tied directly to marching, carrying, climbing, building, or fighting. Their goal wasn't to create impressive physiques. It was to create capable humans, and that simple distinction may explain why their methods remain surprisingly relevant even 2,000 years later. To understand why Roman training was so effective, we first need to understand what the human body was designed to do. For most of human history, survival depended on movement. People walked long distances, carried resources, climbed obstacles, lifted heavy objects, and worked with their hands every day. The body did not evolve for seated machines or isolated muscle exercises. It evolved for practical tasks that required strength, endurance, balance, and coordination working together. Roman soldiers represented one of history's most demanding examples of this reality. A legionary was expected to march for hours carrying armor, weapons, tools, food, and supplies. Historical accounts describe soldiers covering remarkable distances while carrying loads that could exceed 60 pounds. And marching was only part of the job. They also dug trenches, built fortifications, crossed difficult terrain, and fought in physically exhausting conditions. Their training prepared them for all of it. What's fascinating is how closely modern exercise science aligns with these ancient methods. Research consistently shows that movements involving carrying, walking, climbing, pushing, and pulling develop strength that transfers well beyond the gym. Today, experts often call this functional training. The Romans simply called it preparation for life. Without knowing the science, they built a system that worked with human biology rather than against it. If there was one exercise that perfectly captured the Roman approach to strength, it was carrying weight while moving. Roman soldiers spent countless hours transporting weapons, armor, building tools, and supplies across difficult terrain. To them, carrying wasn't a workout, it was a necessity. Yet this simple act built a level of practical strength that many modern training programs struggle to replicate. What makes loaded carries so effective is that the entire body is forced to participate. The hands must grip, the shoulders must stabilize, the core must resist movement, and the legs must continue producing force with every step. Even the heart and lungs become part of the challenge. Unlike many exercises that isolate a single muscle group, carrying weight teaches the body to function as one coordinated system. Perhaps most importantly, loaded carries have immediate real-world value. Every time you carry groceries from the car, lift a suitcase through an airport, move equipment, or pick up a child, you're using the same fundamental skill. Strength isn't just about what happens in a gym, it's about making everyday tasks feel easier and more manageable. Few exercises bridge that gap as effectively as simply picking up something heavy and walking with it. The Romans understood a simple truth that many people overlook today: strength is useless if it disappears after a few minutes of effort. That's why marching was such a critical part of military training. Roman soldiers routinely covered long distances on foot, often carrying heavy equipment across rough terrain. These marches weren't merely a way to travel, they were a test of endurance, discipline, and physical readiness. Walking under load creates a unique challenge for the body. The muscles must work continuously, the heart and lungs must keep supplying energy, and the mind must learn to stay focused even as fatigue begins to build. Over time, this develops what coaches often call work capacity, the ability to sustain physical effort without breaking down. It's not the kind of fitness that looks impressive in a mirror, but it's the kind that proves invaluable when life demands prolonged effort. What's remarkable is that this ancient practice has made a comeback in the modern world. Today it's known as rucking, and it's gaining popularity among military personnel, endurance athletes, and everyday people looking for practical fitness. The concept remains almost identical to what Roman soldiers practiced centuries ago. Put weight on your body, walk with purpose, and allow time and distance to build resilience. Sometimes the most effective training methods are the ones that have already survived thousands of years, long before fitness influencers debated workout routines. Roman soldiers faced a far simpler question: could they control their own bodies when it mattered? Carrying equipment was important, but there were moments when strength alone wasn't enough. Soldiers had to climb walls, scale obstacles, crawl beneath defenses, and move efficiently across unpredictable terrain. In those situations, your body became both the tool and the challenge. This is where bodyweight training earns its value. Movements such as push-ups, pull-ups, climbing, and step-ups don't just strengthen muscles, they teach the body to work as a coordinated unit. They improve balance, mobility, stability, and relative strength, the ability to move your own weight effectively through space. That kind of strength transfers remarkably well to everyday life because most real-world tasks involve controlling your body, not sitting in a machine. For Roman soldiers, movement was never confined to a flat gym floor. They climbed over barriers, crawled through difficult terrain, and navigated obstacles while carrying equipment. These actions demanded adaptability as much as strength. Even today, the ability to climb, crawl, reach, pull, and maneuver remains one of the clearest signs of functional fitness. It's not just about how strong you are, it's about how well you can use that strength when movement becomes unpredictable. The most important lesson from Roman training has nothing to do with a specific exercise. It has to do with why they trained in the first place. Today, many workouts are designed primarily to improve appearance. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look better, but appearance and capability are not always the same thing. The Romans judged fitness by a far simpler standard. Could a person perform the tasks that life demanded of them? That difference changes everything. When training has a clear purpose, Every exercise becomes more meaningful. Carrying weight prepares you to carry burdens. Marching prepares you to endure long periods of effort. Climbing, crawling, and lifting prepare you to overcome obstacles. Modern research consistently shows that people are more likely to stick with training when they see a direct connection between exercise and real-world performance. This purpose-driven mindset became the foundation of Roman conditioning. Their goal was never to master isolated movements or chase physical perfection. They trained to become useful, resilient, and dependable under difficult circumstances. In many ways, that philosophy remains just as powerful today. The strongest body is often the one built not for display, but for life itself. The beauty of Roman training is that it doesn't require a complete lifestyle overhaul. A simple approach works remarkably well. Spend a few days each week performing bodyweight movements. Add 1 or 2 sessions of loaded carries and dedicate time to a longer walk with additional weight. The goal isn't to mimic an ancient soldier perfectly. It's to reintroduce the movement patterns the human body was built to perform. One of the easiest ways to apply these principles is also one of the most effective. Move more and carry more. Walk whenever possible. Take the stairs. Carry your groceries instead of using a cart. Occasionally add weight to a backpack and go for a purposeful walk. These small actions may seem insignificant, but repeated over months, they build the kind of practical strength that machines often fail to develop. The Romans also understood that effort alone wasn't enough. Recovery mattered. Strength is built when the body repairs itself after physical challenges. Prioritize protein-rich foods, stay hydrated, and protect your sleep. A well-rested body adapts better, performs better, and remains capable for longer. Perhaps most importantly, resist the temptation to complicate things. Modern fitness often encourages people to chase the newest program, gadget, or trend. The Roman approach was different. Master a few useful movements, practice them consistently, and allow time to do its work. Simple does not mean easy, but it often means effective. Empires rise and fall, technologies change, and fitness trends come and go. Yet the principles that built Roman strength have endured for more than 2,000 years. Not because they were fashionable, but because they worked. Walking, carrying, climbing, lifting, and controlling your own body remain as relevant to human performance today as they were on the roads of ancient Rome. In the end, real strength is not about impressing others. It's about preparing yourself for the demands of life. The ability to stay capable, resilient, and independent as the years pass. The Romans trained for the challenges they knew were coming. Perhaps the most valuable lesson they left behind is that we should do the same. Build a body that can serve you well, not just today, but for decades to come.